Anyway, just because it's a girls talk doesn't mean that the guys are not allowed to stay. Hello everybody, what do you, what's popping, how you doing? Lebogang Jessica Kilebe here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome home. Get cozy, get comfortable, because you are guaranteed to stay. Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to another video. This is gonna be like a nice, girls talk or whatever. As you can see from the title, there's a lot we're gonna talk about today, but I'm gonna try my best to minimize how much I talk so that this video is not too long, because I'm just sitting and talking honestly. Anyway, just because it's a girls talk doesn't mean that the guys are not allowed to stay, and I believe that some of the things I'm going to talk about do require some sort of male opinion, I guess, or male confirmation, because I am only female and I don't know everything about men, so it only makes sense for you to watch and comment what you think. Please, let's get cozy, let's get comfortable wherever you are. I have myself some juice here with me. I hope you guys are comfortable, you have your snacks ready, your minds are ready to delve into this discussion, because there's a lot to talk about. Okay, so the first one is, what financial advice would you give your 21-year-old self? I don't know, hey? Because the first thing that's coming up to mind is to tell my 21-year-old self to save more. But considering the circumstances of how things were when I was 21, it wouldn't have been that easy to save. So I think the kind of financial advice I would give my 21-year-old self is to learn to prioritize what is worth spending on and what isn't. And also just the kind of people you keep around, because the kind of people that you keep around are what influence you to spend on certain types of things. Affordable feminine tips to keep slaying on a budget. So feminine, we're talking what things like your scent, your appearance, clothing, I'm guessing. To be honest with you, I can't say I know. I can't necessarily give tips on that because I have very sensitive skin. So I tend to react to things that have a very strong scent, because one, I suffer from eczema, and then two, just sensitive skin in general. I have a lot of weird allergic reactions to things, so I don't use scented products at all. And then in terms of makeup, I don't use like high-end makeup because I couldn't possibly afford it. I came from a point where I was on a student budget to a point of unemployment. So when I was still on a student budget, I would usually buy drugstore makeup, so your Maybelline products. Most of the makeup I use is actually under the brand of Maybelline, and it's quite affordable if you go buy at Discount. And then in terms of getting my nails done, my hair done, and all of that, I try to put a lot of thought into how I spend my money, especially when it comes to things like maintenance, because maintenance as a female is expensive. Okay, as a female, maintaining yourself is so expensive, guys. You must wax, you must trim, you must do hair, you must do your nails. Oh, Buffett, can we it's becoming very, very tough to afford, especially with the cost of living becoming a lot more costly now. It's crazy. I really try to make sure that the person I get to do my nails is affordable. I also compare prices. That's one thing that you really need to do before just deciding to do something. If you know that, okay, there's two people who really know how to do hair right now, both of them can offer the same sort of quality, but then one is maybe a lot more expensive than the other, then try to choose the more affordable one. And budget, it is very important to budget. How do you identify a good therapist, and how do you tell you're making progress? I love this question here because I've actually been to 3 different therapists before, and honestly, I think the first one, I couldn't quite gel with them, or I didn't feel comfortable with them because they were male. And I don't know why, but for some reason I've always felt intimidated by males in general. Just being around them, being alone with them, it just doesn't make sense to me. So then I started seeing a different psychologist who was a female, but she is how do you call them? She's a relative but not a close relative, yeah. So for me, I felt that she would be judging me or judging my family or judging what I have to say in my therapy sessions. So I didn't feel comfortable at all. And then finally, another therapist, she was actually a couples therapist, but she took me on. Honestly, I don't even know why she agreed to start seeing me, but I felt so comfortable with her. And I think just being able to apply the things that you're taught or that you learn through the sessions is how you can tell that you're making progress. How would you overcome attachment issues? Yo, this is a tough one. But guys, overcoming attachment is actually a very uncomfortable thing. You need to just train yourself to not need other people for the things that you're attached to. You need to allow yourself to just be alone and be in your own space and take some time to yourself. How would you let your friends know you're outgrowing them without offending them? I don't think that there's a way that you can tell your friends that you're outgrowing them. If you're really outgrowing them out of pure intentions, I believe that they'll be able to tell. Even if it's not out of pure intentions, you can tell when somebody is not in the same headspace as you, or somebody is no longer moving at the same pace of life as you. You can tell. You need to be able to read the room. Even when you've been distant with one another, like, you can tell. Energies never lie. I think that's the one thing I can just confirm and say for sure, that energies don't lie. So if you are the person that's outgrowing your friends, I don't necessarily think that there's a way that you can tell them that, hey, I'm outgrowing you, because they're gonna be hurt one way or another, no matter how much you try to make sure you're not offending them. At the end of the day, they're still gonna be hurt, especially if they love you a lot. I can't tell you to force yourself to continue being friends with them, because in life you just don't force things. You can't force things. If it's not meant to be, it's not. And if that's what's come to happen in your life at that point, then it's to just let things happen. They should be able to tell. You can keep checking on them time and time again, just, hey, how are you, and things like that. The best you can do is try your best to continue being a good friend, but also don't force the situation. Thoughts on period sex? Personally, I could never be caught doing that thing. No, I know of people who've done it. People have talked to me about it. I know that it's a very normal thing. So if you want to try it out, go ahead. Do what you gotta do. And from what I've learned, you're actually likely to enjoy it more, or orgasm, when you have sex on your period. But for me, it's a no for me. Can we discuss self-love and gaining confidence as a girl or woman? Guys, one thing I can tell you for sure is, if you don't love yourself, nobody else is going to love you. I can promise you that, okay? Especially if you also want to attract love in your life. And I'm not just talking about romantic kind of love, just general love in your life. If you want to attract it, you need to learn to love yourself first. You need to learn to show up for yourself, because like I said, ain't nobody gonna be there for you like yourself, okay? So you better look in that mirror every single morning or every night before you go to bed and say, hey, Semangmang, I love you, okay? And you need to show yourself that love. If you feel like today I want to go buy myself some cake, that's exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to a nice restaurant and buy yourself some cake. If you go window shopping and you decide, listen, wow, I love these pants and they would definitely go well with these heels, that's exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna save up for them and buy them. Or if you can afford them on the spot, you're gonna go get them, okay? You need to always tell yourself that you love yourself. You need to have conversations with yourself. You need to affirm yourself. You need to be there for yourself. You need to support yourself. You need to be patient with yourself. Sometimes it becomes really hard to love yourself, but that doesn't mean that you should be hard on yourself. You need to be patient and understanding of different types of things, like the circumstances you could be in. So be patient with yourself. The more you love yourself, the more peace of mind you have and the more confidence you have. It's like a ripple effect, but it starts with you. Talk about the value of talking to yourself kindly and how the way you talk about yourself, even to yourself, has a huge impact on your overall vibe. As humans, we vibe with each other's energy. Like, we feel each other's energies. We can tell. You know how sometimes you meet somebody for the first time and you're like, but they're really cool people, but something's just off about them, right? It's because it's something within them. It's something within their energy that we can sense and we can feel. It goes back to what I just talked about self-love. You know how you talk about the people you love, how you'll compliment them, talk about how beautiful they are, how they have such a nice personality, how good they are at something, or how caring they are. The same way that you find yourself being able to talk about people like that, like their great attributes, their positive traits, you need to be able to do the same thing about yourself, even if you don't believe it, because eventually you will come to a point where you believe it, because it's something that you've been continuously telling yourself all along. I cannot stress how important it is to talk about yourself in a positive light. Do you agree that women's sexual market decreases value with time and age? In my personal opinion, no, I don't think so. I don't believe that a woman's sexual market value decreases with time and age. I mean, at some point when you become a senior citizen, things like this don't matter to you anymore. But I don't believe so, because you know, we found instances where young men are interested in older women, and heck, we'll never know why or how. But I mean, as a man who just wants to procreate, I can understand why they would think that way, because obviously then in that case, the reason why you would want a woman is to be able to reproduce with them, right? And the older they get, the more difficult it becomes. But then that doesn't just apply to women, it also applies to men. So that if we're looking at it from the point of view of an older man who's interested in younger women because maybe older women are not as desirable as the younger women, then I think it's a point of not necessarily the woman's sexual market value decreasing, but more of the man or men, the older men, projecting. Because the older you get, sometimes it doesn't apply to everyone, but the older you get, the more you think about your youth and how you spent it, right? Or the more you miss who you used to be when you were younger. So I believe that if we're looking at it from that point of view, then we can't say it's because a woman's sexual market value is decreasing, but rather the older men are projecting because they maybe miss who they used to be when they were young, or they maybe miss the kind of attention they used to attract when they were younger from women. Anyway guys, we have come to the end of this video and this discussion. I really do hope that you did enjoy it and that you learned something, and that if I missed out on something or didn't answer properly, that you may be able to shine light on that specific topic in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy this video, I cannot stress how important it is to like, guys. Liking a video is so important because it allows other people to find the video. When YouTube sees that, oh, a lot of people liked this video, then the algorithm pushes the content, right, to find more viewers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.